artistic, literary, kind of intellectual bent to a romantic who's a romantic all the time. And one work I want to do is, it's an old piece I wrote. It's called Ideals Died. It's dedicated to the artists and poets throughout the world who sometimes are persecuted for their work, and we forget how fortunate we are. 12 August 1952. Great minds, open hearts, dancing with ideals, creating thought-provoking concepts, soul-searching recitations, works of lives lived, producing a sense of wholeness. Then shattered, battered, emaciated prisoners executed at Moscow's Lubyanka prison, denied, of course, silence. They never existed. Yet cresting waves of death, truth surfaces, emerging confessions, guilty of their crimes, committing the romance of being Yiddish intellectuals, Jews. Remember the night of the murdered poets, 12th of August, 1952. Whispers, you complete me, no beginning or end, souls touching, earth's creation, looking into your eyes, reunited, filling my soul when we vowed to love forever. As many of you know, I'm a widow, so this one is called Restoration. You say, O Lord, you will meet me in my distress and find me in the hidden recesses as I find you, the hidden recesses of my angst. Quickly come, save me, for I died when he who loved me died. Fill the emptiness, the void, with your presence. Renew my passion for you, you alone. Protect me from myself. Teach me to never again love another too much. The tearing is too hard. Devotion. If I could touch a sunset or cup the golden dew, it still would not compare to the love I have for you. You are joy and life to me, more than breath of soul. Without your presence, no peace of mind, no heart at rest, no thoughts divine. You are love most perfect, the atoning sacrifice, the word made flesh that freed me for an eternal better life. Hymn. Ti amo, I love you. Je t'aime, I love you. I laughed, oh joy. One day I asked him, what is it that you do not get irritated about some of the things I do? I know other husbands would be highly aggravated. He gazed at me with a mischievous grin and said, the first week we were married, I stepped outside one night when you were sleeping and looked up at the stars. I prayed, Lord, give me a true, unconditional love for her. He did so when you do something askance, I think it's amusing, charming, and sometimes delightful. If another woman does it, I think it irritating. I wrapped my arms around him, and I knew we would survive my Lucy, I'm home days. Healing innocence. I did not mean to make her cry. Never would I have said anything if I thought it would bring her to tears. A young woman myself, I did not understand her mental condition, emotional anguish and pains. The attempt on my part was to correct her in her criticizing my 7-year-old niece. Mom, how can you tell a little girl she shouldn't sing? It's unkind. She's your granddaughter. When a child is singing, it means they're happy, which should make you happy. My mother snapped at me. That's ridiculous. If a child can't sing, she should be told. When I was a little girl, your grandfather would tell me I was pretty. It wasn't true. Tempted to tell her when I was a child I thought her beautiful. If she didn't believe Grandpa, she would not believe me. I treasured every kindness and act of love from my grandfather, and now I understood why Grandpa was more kind and loving to me than towards his other grandchildren. Attempting another approach, I said, Mom, when you love someone, you look at them with the eyes of love. To my husband, I am the most beautiful woman in the world. It's not true, yet it is true, because he loves me. He looks at me through the eyes of love because he loves me unconditionally. Her eyes suddenly welled up with tears as she dashed out of the room, and shocked, I was unable to speak. I knew something was deeply wrong, but I didn't have the ability to reach her. I didn't know how to tell her I was sorry. Truth is, there was a deeper sorrow knowing that Mom lacked receiving and giving of the worst absence within one's soul, the absence of love. And how could I say I was sorry for that? A year later, when my niece was visiting me and we were painting in my studio, she spoke about singing. "Auntie, Grandma said I can't sing, but I joined the choir, and the music teacher said I could sing." Ah, so she had not forgotten, and the wound still needed healing. I put my brush down and smiled. I encouraged her best I could. "Well, I am sure your music teacher's right, because she studied voice and music. I've always loved your singing. Grandma doesn't know anything about singing. Now, your great-grandfather knew voice. He even listened to opera. You never met him, but let me tell you about your great-grandfather." And I continued to tell her how much he would have delighted in her as I led her to the warmth of the kitchen for tea. Unrequited. There are those that read of great loves, and those of us who lived it. The joy, the thrill, the agony, the steady passion of two souls joined together in friendship, united in love, separated only by death. It does happen if one is especially blessed with a permanent insanity of romance. It's once in a lifetime. One barely survives it, the tearing of the soul when your lover dies. Yet love awaits me on the other side. No, my friend, it is not that I fear to love again, it's that I have loved in truth, and it is in my heart. More than memory, it is ever present. He waits for me, and together we will dance and laugh with the Lord, rejoicing in love eternal. Proposal. I should have realized he was crazy. We'd only known each other a week when he finally had our first official date. True, we talked for hours every day because of our common interests in the arts, but I still couldn't believe he asked me this on our first date. It was still all very odd, the fact that he not only lived one door down from me, but when I overheard him in the art gallery asking questions. It seemed like no matter where I went, he was there. On campus, off campus, galleries, home. He was either a fungus that was growing on me or a very careful planted I don't know what. Yes, it is true, I've always been a romantic, an optimist, the glass is half full kind of person, but I can also see deeper into things. The glass is not half empty, nor is it half full. It's both. It's like the old adage that there are two sides of the coin. Literally not true. There are three sides. Folks ignore the edge of the coin. Rolling right along and being politely assertive, I said no when he asked. What kind of woman did he think I was? And really, what kind of person asked that on the first date anyway? I waited, and on the second date, I said, "Yes, I will marry you." Modernists, false abstracted words, mirror of the times, cold social mores, absent reflections, all-consuming self, not seeking the truth, revelation void, fearing commitment, unable to love, absence of romance. And I shall leave you with the last little piece. Here it is. Prayers. Screaming, weeping, keening, I cried to my God, "Lord, does he miss me as much as I miss him?" Silence. The first thing he asked was where you were. I told him you would be here tomorrow. Silence. Meditating, I realized, yes, to the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years like a day. Yes. Yes. Yes, I will be there tomorrow in the Lord's timing. But for today, I go on remembering to breathe, doing what I am called to, while he who died for me heals my broken heart. Thank you.